All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
Mother Goose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S-foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Animal Squadron podcast. You're here with your hairiest host, Mother Goose.
And Lowtech Tuck.
And today we're talking about Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10, technically, The Passenger.
This episode, I think it's no secret that it's filler.
Yeah.
But it is peak filler.
It's pretty good filler.
I really enjoy it.
Can I be real with you, though? Can I just be brutally honest? Just, like, open my heart to you?
Always, buddy.
This episode makes me despise Grogu.
He is a little monster.
He's a little snot.
He really is. But, you know, that leaves room for character development, which is something we love. Yep.
Right. It leaves some room. She's the lady, she's so sweet. She's like, oh, these are the last of my line. If we don't make it, my family line ends here. And Grogu's just sitting there eating her babies.
Just killing them all. He doesn't care at all.
I had some, like, I kind of made me upset the first time I watched it. But, like, this time I had some serious negative emotions.
Yeah, dude, the first time I watched this episode, I was like, no way. Did he actually just do that? And then he does it again and again and again.
Right. Like, even
it's
at
like,
the
holy crap.
very end of the episode, he pokes his head over to see if she's looking, and then he sneaks one.
He is a little monster, but
Little guy. But he redeems himself. I'll love him again by next week, I promise.
yeah, it's true.
Well,
I will say also
ahead.
with him eating the eggs, I just want to throw out again my theory that I'm pretty sure Yoda's species is from a swamp planet of some kind.
Yeah.
Because he only eats swamp things.
Because I think
Grogu does, but
right, eggs and spiders in this episode. Frogs, we've seen him eat too. Yeah.
And then also, like, you know, bone broth, like various soups.
Right.
That I think, like, if you lived in a swamp planet, you'd probably have to make pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm pretty sure that's where they come from.
And, you know, because I'm pretty sure it was you who said you, like, for sure a swamp planet, but you had a suspicion that it might have been Dagobah?
Maybe. I mean, just because that's where Yoda goes back to. So, I think that would make sense that he's just going back home.
Yeah.
But what would be interesting about Dagobah, though, is that it's a dark side nexus planet.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be kind of strange if that's where they came from. Or it'd be kind of perfect if you think about it. Like light side beings coming from a dark side planet. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So this episode starts back in Tatooine. And we see a gang, some hooligans trying to steal our little sweet baby boy.
Yep.
Smart plan, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, if he wasn't wearing armor, I'm sure some of the time they just straight up kill the guy.
Yeah, we probably would have just cut straight through him.
Mm-hmm.
And a detail I really liked is when, like, he hits the wire and he starts, like, kind of flying out of control. Like, he's actually kind of, like, yelling and screaming a little bit. Like, he's scared.
Yeah.
I just really like that detail because he's usually, like, even in, like, his worst fights, he's very calm and, you know, focused and stern. And, like, he was genuinely afraid in this moment. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Well, because I think, because he can control a fight, but you can't control going, like, you know, however fast he was going and spinning through the air.
Right. And I love that he caught himself, though, with the jetpack. Also very a very nice detail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of my other favorite details, well, so they start to fight, and then one of my favorite details from the fight is whenever the little Jawa thing tries to get the rifle out, and then the Mandalorian's fighting two guys, and he just, like, throws his hook on the rifle and pulls it in and knocks the two guys out with the rifle.
Right?
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Really good choreography.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked a little bit last episode and in previous episodes is about Din's arc and, like, his character development as he's, like, growing to love and become this father figure for Grogu. And I think we really get to see it here, you know, as this Jawa-like creature has the knife to Grogu's throat.
Yeah. Yeah, and what does he tell him? Oh, yeah, if you do that, there's nowhere that you can hide from me.
Yeah.
Yep. He loves that boy.
That, and then, you know, he's offering, like, you can just don't hurt the kid. You can take anything from the salvage. It's yours.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is definitely a backhanded gift, but he chooses the jetpack, and he's even willing to take the jetpack off.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, kind of sucks for the little Jawa.
Yep. Yeah, he takes the jetpack, and then
Gets to go on
Din
a ride.
activates it, and he goes really, really high in the air, and then the jetpack is no longer his problem anymore.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Din is an honorable man. If that Jawa had been able to hold on long enough till it landed, do you think Din would let him keep it?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think he'd just shoot him.
Yeah.
At that point.
Honestly, I knew the Jawa died, and so, like, it had been a long time since I watched it. So that's how it happened in my mind. Like, I was watching it, and I was waiting for Din to, like, pull out a gun and shoot him in the back, and then he just, like, took off, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Arguably, the more cruel option.
Hey, man, as a bounty hunter, you got to stay entertained.
That is
so maybe
fair.
that's how he does it.
And I loved the look that Grogu gives him. Like, he just kind of, like, the Jawa hits the ground, and Grogu just kind of looks up at Din with those big ol' eyes, and then, like, slowly looks back at the guy.
When he makes, like, a splat sound, he goes...
Yeah.
Whenever the guy hits the ground.
Right.
So I think Grogu's a little dark also.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think a really good intro to this episode.
Yeah.
Do you have anything do you have anything before we get to Pelimoto? I remembered her name. Suck it, nerds.
I was about to ask you if you remembered. No, because the next scene's pretty much just him walking to the cantina.
Yeah.
So.
Which, I mean, looked awful. Like just being in the desert, full metal
It looked
armor.
like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? He made it, and good for him.
Well, I'm sure, too, like, for all three actors that play Din, like, wherever, if they shot it in, like, Tanzania or wherever, like, or Australia, or I don't remember exactly where they filmed this part of Tatooine. It doesn't really matter, but it's hot.
Yeah.
And you're in a metal suit, and I bet that really does suck. Even for the actors. Even for not the real guy.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Well, we get to back to Pelimoto. She's playing some sort of gambling game with my new favorite Star Wars character, Dr. Mandible.
He does have such a cool name.
Such a cool name. I literally, like, the subtitles were on, and, like, it literally was like Dr. Mandible, like, chirps or whatever word you'd use to describe bugs clicking. And I like stopped and I paused it and I rewound because I was like, there's no way that just said Dr. Mandible.
Well, and I just love the tradition of weird Star Wars names. Like, it makes me think of greats like Salacious Crumb and Max Rebo. Mm-hmm. And just all those great funny names.
Right?
It's just another one. Yep.
He's got to be on our crew, right? You got you, me, HouseDog, Yariel Poof, and Dr. Mandible.
And Gonky.
And Gonky, of course.
You can't forget Gonky. Yep. I like it. Well, maybe we can, get in touch with his people, extend him an invitation, and see what he says.
Right.
Or we can take him.
Just kidnap the man. The bug.
Is your doctorate in not getting kidnapped?
I don't think so. Get in. Okay. That's what I want. Last question on Dr. Mandible. Is he an actual doctor or is his name Doctor?
I'm kind of hoping that it's his name.
Me too.
And that he's actually a really average person.
Yeah. Like he has a degree, but it's like a theater degree, like an associate's.
Yeah, he just went to JUCO. That's
like
it.
he graduated college, but nothing serious.
Nothing major.
Hey,
nothing major.
If you graduated with an associate's in theater, I'm proud of you. If you're listening to this in real life.
Yeah. Dr. Mandible's still a cool character.
Yeah, Dr. Mandible's a bug. We gotta roast him, but you're a real person and we love you.
Yeah, and thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, Elijah has a master's in very upgraded theater.
Pretty much, I've got a bachelor's. I have been thinking about going to get my master's because I'm literally doing nothing with my life except for this podcast, and I'm proud of myself for that.
Heck yeah, dude.
But yeah, maybe I'll have a master's one day. All my sisters have masters, so I can't be the only one without one.
Oh man, you're the least educated sibling.
I know. I can't let that slide. I took that personally.
Yeah. Despite me being the second youngest, I was the first one to get a degree. I have an associate's, but I still held it over my brother's heads until the next one got a degree. I was like, I'm the most educated.
Hell yeah.
I basically just have high school part 2, but still.
Yeah. Okay. Pelimoto, we see some gambling. Dr. Mandible has information on who might have information on the Mandalorians. So he sets it up to where we get to meet our frog lady, arguably also one of the best Star Wars characters of all time.
I also like her name is Frog Lady. Like that is her credited name.
I have Wikipedia up right now. It's literally Frog Lady.
I love that.
Okay, so we have a golden opportunity here, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Species, unidentified frog-like anthropod. We can name her species right now.
I got it. Docturicus mandibulicus.
I love it. It's beautiful, and this is canon. And let's just hope that nobody else names her species for another couple years until our podcast blows up, and then all our fans will fight for that name, and, we'll get credit for it.
Yeah, and their planet is called Dr. Mandibilia.
Exactly.
Is where they're from.
Yeah.
Coincidentally,
Now that
Dr.
works.
Mandible's species is from there.
That would be awesome.
He is from Bespin.
He is from Bespin, isn't he? Or is he?
Oh, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I'm just goofing around at this point.
Well, now I gotta know where Dr. Mandible was born. What did you think of Frog Lady? First time and this time.
Well, I mean, I love me a good wholesome story. So on that level, I like her as a character. I was like, oh, that's sweet. She's gonna go find her husband. And she has her eggs. That's cute. But, well, and even at the end, I kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
Her character doesn't really have a whole lot of depth. so I don't really know where else to go with that. I like when she stands up for herself later.
Right, like when she starts shooting.
No, when she rewires the droid.
Yeah. Yes, same.
Yeah.
I was really excited. I like frogs. I think. Sorry, I literally I never made the connection until I was saying that sentence. That Grogu has been seen eating frogs. She's a frog. Her babies are little tadpoles, presumably, that would turn into frogs. It's such a stupid, tiny thing that doesn't matter, but it literally clicked in my brain. Frog lady, he eats frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swamp Planet.
Swamp Planet. It was probably, again, it's not any big revelation. It's just my brain never connected those 2 points before.
I'm proud of you, Elijah.
We literally talked about his diet 5 minutes ago. I like Frog Lady. I think she's really cool. It freaks me out when they're running from the spiders and she gets on all fours and starts hopping.
Oh yeah, that is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that whole sequence. But no, I really like them, and it's a species that I hope we get to see more of in the future.
What species is that?
It's Doctor
Docturicus mandilipicus.
Docturicus mandicuricus. Also, Dr. Mandible doesn't have a species name either. I say we call them Steves.
A bunch of Steves.
Just a bunch of Steves.
Sounds like an insult. You bunch of Steves. What are you doing?
Pelimoto likes her meat medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
Classy
yep,
lady.
and then also I love that she says I'm not a Rhodian.
Right?
And so I guess Rhodians just like shoe leather, man.
I guess so. Okay, we've seen them hunt Wookiees for sport. Do they eat the Wookiees?
No, Rhodians are like, think like Greedo.
Oh, right. Oh, what am I thinking of? It also starts with R, right?
Yeah, and Sid from Bad Batch is one. Oh, no, it's a T. Oh, that's gonna bother me.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, Trandoshan.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm a fake Star Wars fan. Feel free to stop listening to the podcast.
No, don't do that. We'll just kick Elijah off. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I'm leaving. This is my last episode. I promise. Yeah, she roasts a whole species because of how they like their meat.
I mean, to be fair, I would too. Like,
yeah,
if you're out there and you like your steak well done, I'm sorry, but you're gross.
Yeah.
And you need to fix yourself. I have to say that. I'm sorry.
Try it medium rare, at least once. See what happens. It won't hurt.
Even try it medium well. Just take it a couple steps down, man. Ease into it. Whatever you gotta do.
It'll change your life. I promise.
It will.
Oh, also, they have to travel at sublight. I think this is the first time we've ever seen a conversation like this, about characters not being able to use hyperspace, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, well, and I could see, too, where it's like the equivalent of, say a city that is, just has like a really bad neighborhood that like an interstate goes through, and you can't take the interstate.
Yeah.
And so you just have to drive through the really bad neighborhood. I think it's the equivalent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I don't think I have anything till they're in space. Do you?
Nope.
Well, they ran into space cops.
Yep.
And he's been doing space
Carson.
crime.
Yep, we see our boy Carson. And we also see Wolf, who is Dave Filoni.
Yeah, which I didn't realize his character came into the show so soon.
And I didn't realize he actually had lines.
Yeah.
And like a part, like a real part.
Right. If I'm being honest, first time I watched this episode, I knew who Dave Filoni was, but not much about him. Like, I knew he worked. Yeah. I knew he was working on these series. I knew that he worked on Clone Wars. But like, it hadn't clicked just how important of a person he was to Star Wars the first time I watched it. So I was like, who's this wolf guy? Whatever. And this time I was like, oh, he's in the show early. I didn't think he came in till later in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, we also get Carson, who is, I think, arguably a much more important character.
Oh, he's in everything.
Yeah.
Now. I love it.
I love that he's just like some just random New Republic pilot that like the fandom has all just grown to love pretty much unconditionally.
Also, like, you know, like you said, he's just a New Republic pilot, but everything happens to him.
Right. He's
like, the poor guy can't get a break.
Yeah.
I just want Carson to go on vacation, man.
Honestly, you know what I want? I want him, like, preferably I would have loved Rangers of the New Republic to be Cara Dune's show. Give it to Carson, Disney. Give it to Carson. Make it a less serious, kind of more of like a little bit of a comedy. I would love that.
Yeah, or have him be on vacation. Like, he finally retires, he finally gets to rest, and it's the first episode, and you get that classic line of, it's like, Carson, we need you, the Republic's in trouble. He's like, I'm retired. I don't do that anymore.
And then the rest of the season is him just chilling on the beach.
He just actually says no. Oh, I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
But yes, we love Carson. Do you think so? Like, it all kind of, I don't know. This is one of those things where like it all works out in the end. Din wasn't doing anything illegal. Like, knowing Carson, but I mean, obviously Din didn't know Carson at the time. But like, all he had to say is like, yeah, there are kids on board.
Yeah. And Carson would have folded on the spot, probably be like, "Oh,"
or just like literally, like the best case scenario for Din was telling the truth. I have a passenger on board. She's the last of her family line. We have her kids that will die if we go into hyperspace. That's why we're traveling sublight.
Yeah, but he's been on the road too long. Like, that's just not a thought of his. It's like, how am I going to get out of here?
Right.
Is what he's thinking.
Right.
And how can I give them as little information as possible where they leave me alone? Mm-hmm.
There's also the like, oh, my ping's not working. I can't send it over. And they're like, okay, guess you'll just have to follow us in. Oh, wait, it's working.
I like too how he's like, it's broken. And he was like, we'll wait. And just like, I started sweating. I wasn't even there. I was like, ooh, yep, you're in trouble now, bud.
And then love a good space chase. Mm-hmm. The Razor Crest takes some damage. He escapes, but does a little crash landing.
Yep.
Then when I say a little damage, I mean it took a ton of damage. It has multiple holes in it now.
Right through the body, where the holes in a ship should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then to make things worse, he falls through the ice.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, I mean, I don't have anything till she, stands up for herself, like you said. If you want to tell us about that or what you thought.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, okay, so there's a hole in the ship, and Din realizes that they're screwed. Like, there's just no way that anyone's gonna find him in time where, they can take her to Trask, and that he's failed, his ship's broken. They'll be even lucky to just live, is where he's at. And so she is, like, she's just speaking her language, and, he asked her earlier in the episode if she speaks Huttese, or, like, any fairly common language that he might speak, and she doesn't. I mean, she only speaks frog.
Yeah.
And so he tells her, like, basically, buckle up, sorry, but hopefully we live. It's kind of what he says to her. And she's just, like, frantically trying to talk to him. And he just decides, you know what, like, nah, I'm just going to go to sleep. There's nothing that we could talk about that won't wait until morning. Mm-hmm. And then he starts going to sleep. And Grogu puts on the blanket and cuddles up to him, which I thought was real sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just sitting there, the frog lady is, and she looks up and she sees Zero from a couple episodes back, the robot. And she rewires she calls it a vocabulator here in a second. And she, pulls the microphone out of his head and just leaves the speakers. And she starts talking in it. And the first thing that Din hears is in Zero's threatening tone. It's like, "Hold on, Mandalorian." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He pulls his blaster out.
He has the
and
droid
like,
PTSD.
Yeah. Which I'm sure for him was terrifying. And he says, and the frog lady says that this can't wait for tomorrow. And that he promised her that he would get her to Trask, and that pretty much she won't settle for anything, and that also she says something like, "Isn't keeping your promises part of the Mandalorian code? Isn't keeping your word part of the Mandalorian code? Or are those just children's stories?"
Yeah.
And
really
that's
hit
what
him in
gets
his
him.
pride.
That's when he stands up. He's like, "Okay, you know what? You got me." And he starts trying to fix the hole.
And good for him. So while you were talking, it made me realize, why weren't they up further in the ship where they could close off the doors?
Like the cockpit?
Yeah.
I don't know, because like he says later, he can seal it.
Yeah, they seal it. Like, they could have, they're just sitting out there in the holes in the cold.
I guess maybe that's where they can actually spread out.
Oh, that is true. Maybe he wasn't wanting to snuggle Frog Lady.
I mean, being an amphibian, or I think she's an amphibian. I guess I don't know. She could be warm-blooded, but I'd imagine she's cold-blooded, so she probably wouldn't be all that fun to snuggle either.
Probably not. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. They start fixing it, and I don't think anything important happens. Frog Lady kind of wanders off and finds a hot spring.
Yep.
With a bunch of really cool-looking rocks around it. Just rocks and nothing else.
And they're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful, and they're not creepy at all.
No, and there's nothing inside them that wants to eat us.
And then Grogu finds the eggs, and, he's thinking he's going to get some soup.
Go get a little soupy soup. I don't think he gets one this time, at least.
No, he doesn't.
But he does, in full view of Frog Lady, too, just, starts reaching for one.
He's just getting after it. That boy hungry.
You know what's crazy about Grogu is, in these scenes, he's sitting there saying, "No, don't do that." And he just, slowly puts it in his mouth. He knows he's not supposed to, and he does it anyway.
But also, I think he knows he has Din wrapped around his little finger, too.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're not going to do anything." You left me.
I think what I hate most about it is there's no consequences for Grogu. The first time I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, the Frog Lady's going to be so sad." And I was like, she's either going to get pissed at him or she's going to get really sad. And Grogu, maybe there'll be some character development. He realizes, "Oh, I really hurt this person by my actions." Nah, he just keeps eating them.
He just keeps being a little monster this episode.
Yeah. I don't have anything till he awakens the spiders.
That's kind of where we're at.
Gotcha. Okay, I have it open. These are the knobby white ice spiders.
That's an appropriate name. Very scary.
What's really cool is that these creatures have been a part of Star Wars since 1979, kind of.
Really?
Yeah, it was. So there was a sketch made when they were making The Empire Strikes Back of this spider. And it never made it into the film.
Was it supposed to be the Wampa?
Oh, maybe.
But they were going to do a spider, and then they decided to do the Wampa instead? I don't know.
Yeah. So it was first mentioned in canon in 2015 in the Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon And then it originally was introduced in Legends in a 1995 novel, Darksaber, by Kevin Anderson. So it's really cool to see finally see this in like live action and get to move. Because this was the inspiration for the Spice Spiders, which I think we only ever see in the comics, but also the Cricuna, the spiders we fight in Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
the ones on
that are
Dagobah.
in Kashyyyk?
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, Kashyyyk, sorry.
Yeah, those creepy little things. Or the ones in Bad Batch. Because, like, the ones in Fallen Order, those are, like, spider-like. Like, they actually have, like, a bunch of eyes and, like, look like a spider.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the ones we get in Bad Batch, they're way freakier, like these things.
Yeah.
They're only spider-like in that they have real long, scary legs.
Ooh, actually, I think... Oh, no. Krykna are the ones from Rebels. Remember when they're, like, protecting their base and all the spiders, like, come around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there are a lot of spiders in Star Wars. And you know what? I think these are the creepiest, though. The ice spiders here.
Oh, yeah. Like, with their weird, like, squid beak mouth thing.
Right. And
that's just like a hole of teeth.
Like, normal spiders, their webbing comes out their butt. The webbing comes out of their mouth for these ones. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't. I did notice that they could build webs really, really fast.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah, this was one of the freakiest scenes as they're like running and fighting, and like I mentioned, Frog Lady's hopping instead of running, like super cool, super freaky sequence.
And then like the little ones are running, and then all of a sudden we see the big one.
Yes, right.
And that's when Din takes out his flamethrower. He's like, "Yep, I would have done that too. Flamethrower, maybe throw some bombs."
Yeah,
I am not having any of this.
Just awful. And then like the worst of it for me was when they like get into the cockpit and like the doors closing, but then all the spider legs like shoot through and are like holding the door open, and like a bunch of smaller ones come in, and like one even lands on Grogu's head and tries to bite him. And
it's a no from me, dog.
Yeah. Listen, we can go anywhere in the galaxy. We are not going there.
Nope. Not this ship. Whatever it is, not this flying dumpster.
Right.
No ice spiders for us.
But yeah, really, really cool sequence. I loved that it was Frog Lady that saved Grogu, even though he didn't deserve it. I love Grogu, but if he ate my kids, I wouldn't have saved him.
I'd kill him. Is what I'd do instead.
Which I'm curious. I don't think she knew at this point.
No. I think the only thing she knows is that, like, he wants to eat them.
Yeah.
Maybe. But as far as she knows, all of her children are safe and sound.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Some of them are. And then they're finally safe. They think they're going to get out. And then the big one lands on their ship.
And that's when we see its terrifying big mouth.
And the fact, like, we see it, like, reach up two of its legs and then, like, send it through the glass.
No way. Not about it.
Yeah. Good for Carson and Wolf, though, coming and saving the day.
Yep. Yeah, and I just want to say, well, first of all, those two guys can shoot, man.
Yeah.
They don't miss a single shot. And then also, I love their little rifles. I like the idea of pilots having like a little survival gun in their cockpit. I just think that's cool.
Right?
And we get to see that in Star Wars. That's dope.
For sure. And then, Din comes out and they tell him, we have a warrant for your arrest, but low-key, you're kind of cool as hell, so see you later.
Yeah, low-key, you're kind of sick, my guy.
No, I really
and then remember that he saved Davin?
Yeah.
Or whatever the guy's name was? Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like this that give me hope for, like, the New Republic. Like, we see that, like, there's a lot of corruption and stuff in it, but there's still good people like Carson, and I'm gonna assume Wolf too. Like, I think this was Carson's call, but I'm sure Wolf would have done the same thing.
What if we find out that Wolf's actually like a bad guy?
I would have really mixed feelings, because part of me is like, that would be a really cool twist, especially being Dave Filoni. The other part of me is like, no, let him just be an innocent little guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We like innocent little guys.
Mm-hmm. And they let him go, and that's all I have. Do you have anything else for the end of the episode?
Not really. I mean, like we said before, this episode it's filler.
Yeah.
It's pretty good filler.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to watch. But, I mean, we're at 38 minutes, and I don't really know what else we can even say.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and we don't have to go on too long of a tangent, but, like, people give Season 3 a lot of slack for having random episodes, but, like, Season 1 and Season 2 had random episodes like this as well that didn't really have anything to do with the plot. Like, I saw a lot of complaints of people saying, like, oh, well, you know, the real plot of Season 3 doesn't start till, like, Episode 5. They should have done that from the beginning and extended it, and it's like, Season 2 had random episodes in the beginning that really didn't matter either.
Also, too, it's like literally what all shows do.
Yeah.
Like, name a show without any filler at all.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and also, you like anime.
I do.
Anime's mostly filler.
I know. Don't even... Listen, I haven't watched Boruto. I never will probably watch it, but, like, it literally, like, the last canon... It's been... Last I saw, there was like 80 episodes, maybe 82 sounds right, since the last, like, canon episode.
What?
Like, it literally was an 82 long span of episodes that were all filler.
That's crazy, dude. I don't think I could handle that.
I skip it. There's a really great website. It's literally just anime filler list, and it breaks down the episodes by if they were canon, if they're filler, or if they're a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Saves me so much time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is 82 episodes. That is wild.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got, too. Sorry it's a short one this time, guys, but you're getting a episode. So
Yeah, for sure. And on that, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for watching. Or not watching, for listening this year. We really appreciate it. We've seen some pretty nice growth, and we really appreciate each and every one of you. And we're going to be taking a break after this so we can enjoy the holidays with our families, and we'll see you guys next year.
In 2024.
2024.
And we're looking forward to another year of, talking, and, maybe we'll get some questions next year.
Maybe. 2024, it's our year, baby.
I mean, it's gonna be... I'm just too excited. I don't know what else to say. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
We look forward to, inviting you all into our flying dumpster.
For sure.
With our crew.
For sure. You know what? Maybe we should make our ship like a Star Destroyer or something, so we can fit all of... You're all part of the crew now.
No, everyone's diving into the dumpster. So that's how we roll.
That's how we roll. Can we get a fleet of dumpsters?
Yep.
Yeah.
Elijah, get out of my head, dude. Or the dumpster's the big ship, and we could have little trash cans that have like 3 people.
Yeah.
And that's the fleet. The dumpster and the trash cans.
I love this. This is canon. Sorry, HouseDog, to make this decision without you.
Yeah, we could buy a new ship at some point, but for now, this is what we're rolling with.
We'll just sell all of our trash cans for one really nice ship. In my mind, I just see us literally landing on a planet, stealing all the trash cans, and then flying away.
Turning them into ships.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm all about it.
Well, thank you guys for being a part of this conversation. If you're listening on Spotify, your question of the week will just be what you thought of The Mandalorian, Chapter 10, The Passenger. If you're listening on somewhere you could leave us a review, we'd really appreciate that. And if you want to be a part of this conversation, you can email us with literally anything at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. We'll see you in the next one. Mother Goose out.
Adios.